Okay, we're getting a late start on this project, getting it back together. So, we got the transmission more or less figured out last night. So we're going to work on assembly now. So I got everything all cleaned up again, one more time. I got the bearings all set out. I went through the gaskets and seals here. We're going to have to start doing some of that. So there's a seal that goes in the clutch gear here. So you got two different ones here. You got a big one and a small one. So you take them and see if they fit. Obviously that does not. That one does, so that's the one that goes in there. So that one we don't use. Looks like it's already got an O-ring around the OD of that. And there's probably one of these here. There's a couple different sizes there, I don't know what they're all about. So this one looks a little bit big to go in here, but it's the one that's with it. Get out my finger. Alright, yeah, we'll deal with that later. Okay, you got a kicker seal that goes in here. So it looks like they give you two different sizes if you want to use this style. This one obviously does not fit. That one fits real loose. Means it's probably going to leak. So I don't have the kicker shaft, so I don't know which one goes in there. Normally what I do is I put the O-rings in here that I don't use for the rocker box. I just stack two of those in there is what I do. Like that. I put two in there and then the kicker shaft goes on top of those. And if the rocker box I use a quad seal that does not come in this kit because it's for a late model. 7980. through 85, so different. Okay, we got to push the bearing in over here. I got to find the snap ring that goes in that. I haven't done that yet. There's a seal that goes right here. That should be. This is a mag seal. See how wide the lip is on that? This is the Pushrod or the shift seal. See, it's a regular seal with a spring lip on it. That goes right in that direction, not upside down like that. So that's going to go, put that in there while we're doing all this. And that should give me everything I can do on this. Then on the trap door over here, the bearing goes in loose in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peen it with a prick punch here, this automatic center punch. I'm going to peen it all the way around the thing a little bit. I'm going to take some sleeve retainer Loctite, and goop it up, and press it in tight. Scooby woke up. And that'll keep it tight. And then a snap ring over here holds it all together. So we'll need that. What you doing, Scooby? You wandering? What? You looking for something to eat? Yeah, good boy. Alright, so we're going to get that all finished up. All this stuff here looks like it's fine. Okay, so this big bearing goes in here. So I got a little stuff I got to do before it pulls together. The motor mount, I had to do a lot of filing on this thing. It's not flat at all. I don't know why. It acts like it's bent right here in the middle. So it cuts from here across here and right on the edge there, barely touching there and barely touching the edges. It does the same thing on this side. So you can see I filed it down until it just started catching this corner. This one never did touch. And the other thing I did where it goes against the case right here, it wasn't sitting very flat. So I went ahead and filed down all the powder coat, so I'm down to bare metal again. So now it's just a lot flatter against the case because that was kind of didn't feel too good. I also went ahead and filed across these edges here. I don't know how much this has to come off, so he might have to do some fitting on that himself. We'll see. Alright, so we got lots of little things to do. That's going to go into there. Okay, so Scooby's looking for something. What do you got? You got a rat over there? Is there a rat hiding around over there? You know, he'll figure it out. Stuff goes here. What are you doing, Scooby? You watching me? Oh, he don't want that. That's the treat drawer. He don't want the treat drawer, does he? Okay, I release this and the big seal. That's the same one. Too big. Gonna work for the seal, I think. We got Scooby. Ugh. Perfect. Gotta make sure that goes all the way in the hole and doesn't just stop at the top. Okay, that'll work for that. And we need something to push this through. Same bearing, I think. Need something big to push on the top. Grab you. I need something small for this one. If I have to go more than flush. Too big. That might work. Yep, that'll work on that one. Alright, I think we got what we need. I'm sure there'll be something else we'll need. I need something flat. That's flat. Alright, what kind of stuff to use here? And I need a big one for here too. And I guess that'll work for that. Okay, and then we're going to need something big to put this one in. Too small. Barely. Too big. We already checked that, didn't we? Yep, too small. Guess that's the winner right there. Okay. All kinds of crap here. Look at that dog. What's that dog doing? Uh-oh. Interrupt. We'll be back now. Okay, we're on the press now. Damn, box is right on my feet. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and push this seal in right here. And I got to push the seal in there. And I got to push the bearing in there too. That'd be one of these over here. That'd be this one and the small one. Those all lined up. Okay, you got to push this down, but you can't be on dowel pins. So you got to make sure you're off of these dowel pins here. So when you lay the case out, gonna drop it down. So where's that dowel in the center? So we're just gonna split our block up here a little bit like that. And it drops down flat. There you go. Very important to be flat when you're pushed in your cases. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do is put the seal in there. Just lay that right on top. That wasn't the one I was going to use. It was this one here. I'm going to push it in with that one. Push it down until it stops. Keep the pressure down. And it's in there good. So you make sure it goes all the way down. Should be slightly below the surface, like it is. I'll put the shaft in and make sure it all works good before I put the case together, just to make sure. Make sure there's no issues with that. Alright, so that one's in. So now I can go ahead and put this in here. So I have to drop this across a couple positions to find another flat area to work under here. Okay, looks like we're about flat in that area. Okay, I previously marked where the high spot was, so we'll put it back in the same spot. So this is your round side. You're not supposed to push on that side. You're supposed to push on the flat side here where the strength is. So it helps to do that. I'm going to use a flat one to push it down until it's flush. And we'll see if you have to go any more than that. Just makes it. Get it started, relieve pressure, let it simmer. Do it a couple times, make sure it goes in straight. We go down to flush. And you pick it up and look at it. So if it sticks past this edge, you can't use it. You want it to be just below the surface, and it looks like it's just below the surface like it's supposed to be. So that should be good. The next thing to do, you want to make sure you can move the rollers. You have sliding in there. So you see how the rollers are going straight. If the rollers are jammed at an angle like that, it'll be locked up. So you want to make sure they rotate freely. They are, so we're good to go. Same on your needle bearings up in here. Make sure they rotate. They all do, because I did that before. Except the rollers get in there at an angle, they'll lock up. So gotta make sure they're good and free. Alright, so I think we got everything on this case now that needs to be done. Seals. I think we got most everything. We'll put the drain plugs in later, and we'll put these filler plugs in later. These are the oil lines go in here. Okay, I think this is good. We gotta put that snap ring in here yet, which I have not gotten yet. And I gotta check the shift shaft. Okay, so I'm gonna take this over here. Shift shaft right here. Make sure it fits in there, no problem. Appears to be good. Okay, you always want to double check all your stuff, make sure it's good. While we're at it, we'll check the countershaft here. Just to make sure we have no issues. Appears to be in there good. In case you wonder, I have the main shaft too loose. Look how loose the countershaft is. Do you think it matters if this is a little loose? No. They tell you to put these bearings in super tight, and like I said, these are super loose. So what does it really matter? So it's better to be loose than tight. Okay, stay put. Okay, so this side here, I think is pretty well done for now. Alright, get that out of the way. Oh, I gotta put that snap ring in there yet. Snap ring. I don't think that's in these trays here. Nope. Different tray. XL. Should be right there. You got to hold a shelf full of trays out here pretty soon. Okay, there we go. There's a new one. So this has to be put in here. That'll take 2 hands, so I'll be back to do that. Okay, this case here is clean and good to go. So this is ready to get back up and put on the crank right here, which we got covered so it doesn't get dirty. Okay, looks like we're moving on to this mess over here pretty quickly. Okay, so next thing we gotta do is put some seals in right here. So all this little stuff's gotta get done before you move on to the big stuff. So that goes right down like that. Nope, didn't make it. Spacer. tight squeeze. Look how much it crunched that shell down. That was a pretty heavy crunch. That'll make that push rod good and tight. That would have been hell to beat in with a hammer. When you see the whole seal just kind of buckle in like that, you know you got a good crush on it. Okay, that should be good on that part. Now this here, you can either push it onto this right now and put the whole thing in the transmission, or you can do it later. Both ways work. We'll do it this way. Make sure it spins freely after you do that. It does. That's a good sign. Okay, we're moving right along. Okay, so first I'm going to push this one in here. We have a flat surface right here to push against. It's supposed to be flat. Yeah, close enough. Here's our bearing. Now once again we got a flat surface and a rounded surface. So I'm going to put the flat surface down first. Trying to get away. Okay, it's in there flush. Make sure the bearing rotates. You can hear it squeaking, it's moving. Okay, now you can make it slightly below the surface if you want. You can see the mark in there about a 1/16 above the bearing where the oiler thing goes in there. So I usually just go to flush, but if you want to go down and recess it slightly, you can. If you want to do that, that's why we brought the other one of these over here. This is the right size. Just lay that in there like that. Get right over there. And then I put it just slightly below the surface. If you put it slightly below the surface, the gear will never rub on it. The way I look at it, if it's flat, it's going to hit the bearing and the case at the same time, so it shouldn't wear it away. But if you want to put it below the surface, you can. Just don't get it so deep that it gets into where the oil is going to get in there. Okay, still turns freely, so we're good. Okay, now we can do something about this hole here. The problem is this here just goes right in there, and it's loose. Can't see, could you? So you see how the bearing's loose in the hole here? So it's free to spin. That is not good. So what we're going to do is we're going to peen it. So you want to peen it pretty equally around the circle so it works evenly. This is not helping me here. See how we put the two little peen marks right there? So you want to do equally spaced going around. We don't need a lot of them, but you need a few. Not together though. So I'm going to stagger them over about 3/4, 7/8 of an inch. Damn it. this is hitting right on the edges. I'm hitting it, it shoves it up. See how it slid down just as it went pop. So you just do this a few times. Now the reason you want to do it kind of equal is so that you get equal pressure. When you put the bearing in here, it kind of centers it up. If you do it all on one side, the bearing will shift over a little bit on you. Because there is clearance in this. We don't know how much. It has a little bit. And you can also do it with a hand with a prick punch. Do the same thing that I'm doing. It doesn't take much to do what we need to do here. Hard to do it now, got no access. Kind of limited on this side too. Hold it with my fingers in at an angle, which is not the best way, but in this case, that's what we're going to have to do to make it work. Alright. So even though we have very low access, we can see where we got some marks in there. Try to get, oh, how do you rotate the camera? Can see anything? There. Had to turn at the right angle to see what's going on, see? Okay, so now it's tight in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our sleeve retainer Loctite. You can also use red. It's a little bit more severe. This will fill up to about 25, 30 thousandths. It's a lot. Red's good for about 15, as I recall. Okay, just put a nice even layer all the way around. And we can also come around here, pull a bit on the outside of the bearing here, just kind of wet it up a little bit. Just make sure it's got a little something on there, nothing special. Okay, now we're going to put it in there. And now we're going to have to press it in because it's not going to be tight. The problem is I need to push it down from the surface, and these surfaces are not machined flat. So it means you're pushing at an angle, which is not the best. So you try to get it as flat as you can. That's about as close as we're going to get. Put this down in there. Put that on top. And just kind of push it in there a little bit. Shove it all the way in. Now we're going to take our clip, go ahead and put that in there. Hey, no tools. Finger power. But we're going to check it with my screwdriver, make sure it's in there though. If you can spin the clip at all, like that, it's in the groove. Okay. So right now the bearing is all the way against this snap ring here and not against this inner one. So you have two options to do on this. Either that way or this way. Now when you push on the clutch on the early bike, the clutch is mounted on the clutch gear and it shoves it this way with a push rod. So I usually like putting it next to this side of the snap ring. On the later bike, 71 later, it's out here on the primary cover, it pushes that way to release it, so then you want to be on against the snap ring on this side. So depending on what year it is, you go a different direction. Because there's probably about 20 or 30 thou clearance between the two snap rings where it can move. So I put it there, so it's good. And everything spins nice and free, which is what we want. So we're good to go. Now if you do push it in from this direction, you got to make sure the clutch gear is all the way against the bearing. There's no gap down in here. Yeah, you can see in there, but this one, we were pushing this way the whole time, so it's all the way in. Alright, so it's all good. We'll be back.